Hello again everyone, and welcome back to the latest and greatest Unity tutorial. This is a continuation of part 8a and this is 8b. They weren't meant to be two parts, but due to a rogue command key press on my computer, there are two parts. And yeah, without further ado, let's just go and continue where we left off. So, as you recall, we're back in our scene, back in our editor. But before we play around with the engine itself, we're going to go back with the code and continue exactly where we left off. And that would be this line here, casting a horizontal line that moves with the enemy object. And that's going to be vector 2, line cast posh equals my trans dot position dot to vector 2, blah, 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 blah. You can read the rest. First thing we want to do is give ourselves, now that we've defined our line and kind of gone on from declaring where it's going to originate from, what we want to do is give ourselves a physical representation of this, because we won't be able to see this in our scene. It's just going to be magically happening with the blessings of our code, which is nice and all, but yeah, we would like to be able to see this in our scene in our editor. So what we're going to do is debug dot draw line cast posh line cache posh minus my trans dot right dot to vector 2. And all this is helping us, like I said, give ourselves a visual representation. And to make this more accurate of what's actually happening behind this to vector 2, we're going to times this by the kind of length that we've defined in the line of code above. So here you have the 1.25 float units, and let's give this a nice description. Commenting is good. Visual representation. Once again, do not be the Nazi of my spelling. The line we just created, because I am terrible at spelling. And without further ado, we're going to continue. And now that we have defined our line, where it's going to cast from, and it's a place of origin, and the position of it, that's going to be in relation to our player's constant updated movement, and we have given ourselves a visual representation of this line. Now that we're going to do is we want to be able to make a flag or set up various flags that go on and off based on things that happen in the game. And the only way I can say this is red light, green light, true or false. So we're going to define a boolean, and this boolean is going to be isBlocked. And isBlock is going to equal physics2d dot linecast line cache posh minus my trans dot right, sorry, dot to vector 2. And we're gonna once again want to keep this kind of length uniform and do the 1.2 float units, or whatever value you have in there. Whatever you do, just keep it like that, as this. And we have an error because this is not an equal sign, that is a slash. Okay, so there we go. And basically, okay, to sum up this line, this is going to tell us, okay, if the line that we have casted has collided with anything, if something, it's basically like an ongoing collision check without checking, that's basically what it's doing. That's the best way I can describe this to you without getting too technical. And it's gonna it's going to cast the line regardless. And the line's casted, it's okay. Is there something blocking my path? Okay, what's blocking my path? Is it a ground? Is it only ground environment layer? Is it the player? Okay, if that is the case, then I will turn around. And we have ignored collisions with layers 8 and 9, which are level boundaries and our other enemies. So basically, this is going to react based on our code. So in the future, we're gonna build on this and to make it to where this won't set to true on certain events where our player is touched, or if something else happens. But with that said, let's give this a nice line of code. And the best way I can describe this is a Boolean flag that determines whether, I think I spelled that wrong, whether or not the enemy is being blocked. The enemy's line is blocked. I think that's better. So basically, this is like a piece of, this is like electronic insurance. It is a piece of this code. Basically, will let the whole script holistically. Everything else will run as we have defined it, and it will go, hey, there is an instance of this line being blocked. If that's true, then XYZ will happen. If not, then going on. And going on to this if, then, or if else, we're gonna, you guessed it, add on with some good old conditionals. So if is blocked is true, then we're gonna want to build onto this. Let me zoom in a little bit. I feel as if this isn't the best way to capture this, but hey, okay. So basically we're gonna make a new vector that's gonna be carat equals new vector not new vector, my trans dot Euler angles Let me keep everything vector 2 here. So vector 2 carat my trans equals Euler angles. So carat in the y-axis. Sorry, forgot about that. So carat dot y plus equals 180, and now we're going to get this a little more uniform, and then set our transitions Euler angles. Not local Euler angles. Trans dot Euler, not all caps, I don't want to yell at the system, equals current. So basically what we're doing here is we're defining a placeholder variable to assign equal value, or to basically copy and hold all the information that's currently stored in the enemy's rotational values. That's Euler angles. And then we're adding on to this, onto the y-axis, and doing a 180, which is just turning it around if is blocked is true. None of this happens unless is blocked is true. And then from that, we're setting the placeholder variable carat that has been changed back to what is currently the enemy's transform rotational values. So it basically doesn't roll out. And to build on that with comments, let's go ahead and placeholder variable set equal to rotational value. Use plural. Okay. Caret placeholder variable. I spelled variable wrong. Oh my goodness. Just losing it today. Placeholder variable is added onto rotational values set are set equal to the placeholder variable. Okay, that's enough of that shindig. Alright, and then to move on from that, okay, that's fine and dandy. Our enemy, if it's blocked and all of the conditions are met, then it will turn around. That's great, but how will it be blocked if it can't move or nothing's in front of its way? So let's solve that easily by making another vector. So this is going to be a vector 2. I'm going to name this myBell equals rb dot velocity. And if you recall from the first video, rb is a shorthanded variable that we have set equal to our rigid body component of our enemy. So yeah, don't get that confused with anything else. It's just, we're just accessing the velocity in our rigid body 2D to be exact. So myval dot x equals negative mytrans dot right dot x times, oh, where's the times? There we go. Speed times time dot delta time. Yeah, let's keep it delta time. We have to play with the speed if you add the my time dot delta time, but hey. And then from that, we're gonna get rb velocity equals myval. And this is exactly the same thing that we just saw here. So placeholder variable define and set equal to rigid body's velocity. Velocity values, that would be a nice, because velocity is an adjective in this case. Values, placeholder variable is manipulated rigid body the rigid body's velocity. The rigid body's velocity is then set equal to the placeholder. Alright, there we go. And this is our script. This is it. So what we're going to do is test this out. Go back here. Oh god, that screen is bright. Okay. Goomba drop. Oh noes. Alright, so we need to go to our Goomba and our Koopa Troopa. So just select them both if you can. Control or shift or whatever. This is back true. Ignore. And then set enemy. And then, okay, let's see here. Okay, they're turning around still. Enemy. Nothing. nothing. BRB. Okay, I goofed up yet again. Alright, so what we're going to do is go back to the line where boolean is block is defined. So after we have made the uniform extension of the 1.2 float value, or whatever value we chose, we're going to put our layer mask. So basically there, we're going to save this, go back to our scene, and reap our blessings. Change that back to enemy, and this is just the Goomba. Just to give an example, the Goomba should move because it is ignoring everything else. So, wait, why are you moving? Why are you not moving? This ain't my vision. Okay, so I'm back and I found our main problem. So what you want to do is go back to the line where we defined, right under where we defined our vector2 myval, and when we say the placeholder variable is manipulated, that we do the manipulation that's taking place, and you see myval.x equals negative mytrans.right.x times the speed times time delta time, remove the time delta time because it just interferes with what's going on, and if you're using fix update, it should fix out itself, and if not, then maybe you need to go play around in the your project settings, your quality, and your graphics, as well as may need to go talk to a professional, which I am not, and I'm just an amateur wannabe YouTube tutorial. I'm just kind of sharing my struggle with you all. So here we're gonna do is apply this to both and watch our reapings, and basically, yeah. So our enemies are now approaching us and they beat us, and we obviously have to tweak the jumping and mechanics and physics and everything. Now we're gonna save our scene. We're not done yet, we're just gonna save our scene, and now I want to do the same thing with the mushroom. So here we're going to get the mushroom, I'm gonna add a rigid body to it, which I have already done because this is like my 4th time doing this tutorial, and yeah, I'm not complaining, but it's kind of just annoying. So I'm going to just remove that and go back. So I'm gonna rigid body 2D, add that, and we want to freeze its rotation because we don't want it getting all willy-nilly and throwing itself off axis and moving like upside down or like a crackhead in the street who just drank a yoo-hoo. And we're gonna create a script, a mushroom script, or a mushroom movement script. You can just add onto the no, that is not the case. I feel as if there is something. Okay, what's this? Okay, so right now we have, this is a manipulated script. This is the scripts in product already. What you're gonna want to do is basically just, here, I'm gonna start this over because I deleted some parts of this that did not need to be deleted. So okay, I'm back with the right thing. This right here is your mushroom script. It basically, on collision or on trigger, it's going to raise your player state to 1 if it's already 0. If not, then it's going to destroy it. Obviously, we need to add points and everything, but we just haven't got there yet. So what we're going to do is go to our enemy movement script that we just finished, and we're going to go to the first line with the public float speed, and then we're going to select all of what you see below, and then we're going to simply copy and paste. So take this here and gonna want to paste, and also let's drag this up just for good luck. So we're gonna put this right under our start function. Okay, enter there, get rid of these extra lines by Control X, or delete, whichever one you shoot fancy. And there are a few changes we do have to make, but for the most part, this is fully realized and it will work. So what you want to do first off is go to your fix update function, go to lines where you see vector2, line cast posh, and we're going to go in between mytrans.position.toVector2 and mytrans.right.toVector2 and change this minus to a plus. And we can pretty much just rename the identifier. We can go here and not insert. Oh, damn it. Okay, now that I have insert turned off, we're going to change this minus to a plus. We're going to do the same thing for these. And basically, this is just necessary because if I recall correctly, mushrooms travel to the right in Super Mario Brothers. I could be wrong, and if I am, oh well, they're going to travel to the right in my clone. So yeah, they travel to the right, and let's also make this to where last thing you need to fix after you fix the 3 subtract signals and you change them, or minus signs, you change them to plus signs, you're going to go to the second to last line of code in the script where it says myval.x equals negative mytrans.right.x times speed. I'm going to go in front of mytrans and delete the minus sign and save your script. Save all scripts just to be safe. It's already added onto your mushroom, so nothing to do. Just make sure you have that rigid body as well as the freeze rotation. We can put here to ignore the enemy. Well, let's see what they're doing. Yeah, let's just put nothing. Because already in the script that we copy and pasted, it ignores the enemy layer. So what we're gonna do here, let's go here and watch our mushroom move. Okay, it should be ignoring that. And we shouldn't be, well, technically there were 2 enemies hitting us. So let's go to enemy and let's see if it ignores the, oh no. Okay, that is a Goomba. So let's go back to our mushroom and our prefabs. Notice all this has to be done in the prefabs folder because there is not an instantiated copy right off the start in our scene. So we're gonna go here. We're gonna select enemy. We already selected enemy and enemy mask and see. Okay, now it just destroyed itself. So what we're gonna do is make this rather simple. I'm gonna go to add layer 8 and 9. Go back to our code. Go to the first line of code in the fix update function. You see physics2d.ignore layer collision. So we're gonna fix this to 8 and 10. And we're gonna also copy this, and you're probably gonna want to do this again for 9 and 10 because mushrooms and stuff, they do go off the screen. Okay, 9, there we go. Sorry, I'm getting, it's kind of weird. I've made some adjustments with my mouse and keyboard lately. Okay, that is not what we want. So I'm gonna go here. Prefabs. Change that back to nothing. Okay, that is the correct way. So you're gonna have to go into your script and change that as stated. You're gonna have to go into your script and change that as stated. Modify these 2 lines, this line under the fixed update function, to make it to where the ignored layer collision is between 8 and 10 and 9 and 10. Whatever number layer that your enemy and power up, or your enemy or your power up and wall or level boundaries layer is on, just make sure the integers line up and you should be good. Change the enemy mass back to nothing in your scene. Make sure that is a prefab, not on an instantiated copy. If it is, just simply apply to all, and yeah, that is it. We are done. Thank you guys so much. Hopefully I was not too annoying. If there's any way at all that I can make these tutorials better, please let me know by leaving a like or dislike, comment below. Just any criticism, any feedback, any positive views. I need your guys' input. I also failed to mention that this whole entire project and all the scenes and assets incorporated with it are available now on GitHub.